Narcissists are never accountable or responsible for their own actions. No matter what happens, it's always someone else's fault. Even if the narcissist does something wrong, he was driven and pushed to do this by somebody else. If he cheats, it's your fault. If he gets fired, it's his boss's fault. But they are always the hero in their story. Mature, normal, healthy people have accountability. They have the ability to look back on something and they can take responsibility for their actions. This constant victim-hero speak is not something that normal, healthy people do. So looking back on red flag video number 3, I mentioned that a narcissist is never held accountable for what they do. They have these crazy people in their past, they have fragmented relationships, they have a pattern of instability because of their lack of accountability for their own actions. So back to what I previously said about Robert's track record with jobs. I mentioned in a previous video that I do accounting for bars, and one summer I had a contract to work at this place, and a friend had gotten him a bartending job there. I think he lasted maybe 3 or 4 nights, and he got fired. He got fired for taking too many breaks to go outside. I didn't feel bad for him after that, because it was entirely his fault. Nobody that summer got fired. He was the only one. If you ask him, of course being the hero, he said he was the best bartender, and he was so cute, and the boss couldn't handle the fact that he was so good looking, and he was just jealous. Level-headed adults don't talk this way. I remember on several occasions he would be offered a very last-minute gig with his band. It was very clear that he was a last resort because he's really such a headache to work with. He always felt that he saved the day by being able to fill in last minute, and the whole concert would have crumbled without him. If he plays a show and doesn't draw any crowd, however, poor him, it was raining. Nobody wanted to come out. The venue sucks. They gave me a bad time slot because they don't like me. This is what would go through his head because he's always the victim. He was always the hero in his own story, however, and he exaggerated every single story he told. This was part of feeding his ego, so people would ooh and ah at how amazing he was. If people are lost, he'll navigate. He'll figure out those directions. He'll save the day. He is not a giving, generous person, but by helping, it can make him look better, and it gives him a story to tell, and he'll always make sure he's the hero. You might notice this in your narcissistic partner too. You might notice this in a narcissistic parent, which I will make a whole playlist on that topic. I have a narcissistic mother, and it's a nightmare. She did this all the time, and down the road, I think once I finish the red flags in a relationship, I'll probably start on that topic. Narcissism, at its very core, is a defense mechanism, but within it, there are many other defense mechanisms, and playing the victim and hero is one of them. It's a way to cope with the cruel world. It's a way the narcissist feels better about themselves. As with everything the narcissist does, it's a way to show his mother that he's to either be pitied for being the victim or adored for being the hero.